Hey. Good morning, y'all. What a beautiful day it is to be a child of God. And who didn't know that? Y'all, I keep telling everybody that obedience brings blessings. We already heard that obedience is better than sacrifice. I'm going to show you how. Now, when Jesus first came on earth, right? He gathered all his disciples. One of his disciples was Simon, which we learned later on became Peter. So it was a time that Jesus had been preaching, and then he seen a whole multitude coming that wanted to hear the word of God. So he seen two boats on the water, but no one was at the boat. So he got into one of the boats, which was happened to be Simon's, Peter's, and so he told Simon to, move the boat so I can go preach. Now, mind you, Peter had been up all night trying to catch fish, and he couldn't do it. But because of his obedience, he was blessed. Hey, y'all, we're in Luke chapter 5, going to verse 1. So it was, as the multitude pressed about him to hear the word of God, that he stood by the lake of Gennesaret and saw two boats standing in the lake. But the fishermen had gone from them and were washing their nets. Then he got into one of the boats, which was Simon's, and asked him to put out a little from the land. And he sat down and taught the multitudes from the boat. When he had stopped speaking, he said to Simon, "Launch out into the deep and let your nets for a catch." But Simon answered and said to him, "Master, we have toiled all night and caught nothing. Nevertheless, at your word, I will let down the net." And when they had done this, they caught a great number of fish, and their net was breaking. So they signaled to their partners in the other boat to come and help them. And they came and filled both the boats so that they began to sink. Hey, y'all, we're in 1 John chapter 5, going to verse 3. For this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not burdensome. Hey, y'all, we're in 2 John chapter 1, going to verse 6. This is love, that we walk according to his commandments. This is the commandment, that as you have heard from the beginning, you should walk in it. Hey, y'all, we're in John chapter 14. Read the whole thing when you get time. Verse 23 says, Jesus answered and said to him, "If anyone loves me, he will keep my word, and my Father will love him, and we will come to him and make our home with him." When you obey your father, that's like an expression of love towards him because we're keeping his commandments. He said, "If you love me, you'll keep my commandments." And then God pours out his blessings on those that obey him. Look how many fish they caught. It was so many fish they had to call the other boat, their partners from the other boat, to come and help them. And their boats began to sink. But God said, "If you love me, you'll keep my commandments." It's not so hard to follow and do what God tells you to do. That's just like a father rewarding their children for being good. Remember, it's better than sacrifice. Have a blessed day.